Hello, good to have you with us on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. in Asmara. Time for English news broadcast, and I am Salim Berhane. First, the top stories. 47 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Voluntary blood donation held in Central Region. Syria prison attack kills more than 100. Clashes ongoing. The Taliban representative meets Norwegian authorities. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 47 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central, southern, Ansaba, and Gashbarka regions. Out of this, 30 patients are from testing stations in Asmara, Central Region. 8 patients are from testing stations in Mendefera, 6, Tsarona, 1, and Mai'aini, 1, Southern Region. 6 patients are from quarantine centers in Karen, 3, and testing station in Elaber 2 and Attakalezan 1, Ansaba region. 3 patients are from testing station in Baran 2, Gashwarka region. On the other hand, 57 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. Sadly, a 99 and a 72 years old patients from the Central Region have passed away due to the pandemic. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 8,712, while the number of deaths has risen to 93. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 9,297. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 23rd January 2022. As part of the initiative to develop blood supply of the National Blood Transfusion Service, members of the PFDJ in Sambal subzone voluntarily donated over 40 bags of blood today, 23rd January. The secretary of the PFDJ in the subzone, Mr. Hasberhe, commending the initiative, said the members took called on others to follow the noble example. The members, on their part, said that the initiative they took has created on them spiritual satisfaction and called on the society to follow the good example and save lives with their renewable blood, indicating that necessary preparation has been made to conduct awareness campaigns to develop the understanding of voluntary blood donation in saving lives. Mr. Mahari Abraham, head of blood donation at the National Blood Transfusion Service, called on government institutions and associations to reinforce contribution. Dr. Johannes Techeste, Medical Director of National Blood Transfusion Service, on his part said that strong effort will be exerted to inculcate the culture of blood donation on the public. The National Confederation of Eritrean Workers, in its third annual meeting conducted on 20th and 21st January, reviewed activities of 2021 and discussed on the charted out programs for 2022. According to the reports presented by the General Secretary of the Confederation, Mr. Techeste Bayre, the relationship of the Confederation with the regional and international organizations is growing, and with that the partnership related to labor issues is developing. Regarding human resource development, Mr. Techeste said that the Massawa Workers Vocational Training Center is providing training on various fields to 160 workers from 40 institutions with a view to develop the overall capacity of workers. Furthermore, Mr. Techeste said that the Tohombia Training Center for Disadvantaged Women is conducting encouraging activity in supporting women-led foster families with livestock breeding, microcredits, and farming activities, and that currently training on tailoring is being provided to 20 disadvantaged women. Regarding the charted out developed programs for 2022, the report indicated that training programs will be organized to boost productivity of workers, including in mining, agriculture, marine resource, and construction. And now we'll be back with the international news after a short break. Stay tuned. At least 120 people have been killed in ongoing battle between US-backed and ISIL, also known as ISIS fighters, after an attack on Syrian prison. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, SOHR, reported that at least 77 IS members and 39 Kurdish fighters, including internal security forces, prison guards, and counter-terrorism forces, have been killed in the attack that started on Thursday. ISIL claimed responsibility for the prison break on its Amaq media mouthpiece on Friday. A video it released on Saturday purported to show armed men infiltrating the prison and raising the group's black flag as they stormed the Kurdish-run Gorian jail in Hasaka city. At least 7 civilians were also killed in the fighting. According to the SOHR, on the other hand, the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Force, SDF, said today it tightened its siege, aided by US-led troops, and that 17 of its soldiers had been killed, and had initially said it had thwarted the breakout and arrested 89 fighters sheltering nearby, but later acknowledged inmates had taken over parts of the facility. An SDF spokesman also said the militia had recaptured 104 prisoners who escaped, but the total number of those who broke out had not been determined. The U.S. Pentagon confirmed the coalition against ISIL carried out air attack in support of the SDF as it sought to end the prison break. ISIL attack in Hasaka has been one of the deadliest since the armed group lost its territory in 2019. Representatives of Afghanistan's Taliban are in Norway for 3 days of talk due to start today, 23rd January, on how to alleviate a humanitarian crisis. This is according to the Norwegian Foreign Ministry. The Taliban representative will meet Norwegian authorities as well as diplomats from several other countries at a conference center on the outskirts of Oslo from January 23rd to January 25th. Norwegian Foreign Minister Anniken Huitfeldt said in a statement that this meeting do not represent a legitimatization or recognition of the Taliban, but they must talk to the de facto authorities in the country. Millions of Afghans have been plunged deeper into poverty since last year's Taliban takeover, which resulted in disruption to aid programs and deteriorating food security. According to the Norwegian Foreign Ministry, meetings will also take place between the Taliban delegation and Afghan civil society members, including women leaders, journalists, and individuals working to safeguard human rights and address humanitarian, economic, social, and political issues. And now let's remind you the top stars. 47 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Voluntary blood donation held in Central Region. Syria prison attack kills more than 100 people, clashes ongoing. The Taliban representatives meet Norwegian authorities. That's all with the news. Thanks for watching.